Cravers, and welcome back to Little Cravings. Today I'm going to show you the perfect way of making Mexican chorizo. Mexican chorizo, unlike its counterpart, the Spanish chorizo, is not encased and cured for a very long time. It's fresh, and in this version, you don't need any machinery, you don't need any casing, you don't need to be suffering about stuffing your meat into the casing. It's gonna be easy, it's just gonna take a couple of days, and if I were you, I would make extra because you're going to want to freeze it. And once you freeze it, all you have to do the night before, get it out, put it at the bottom of your fridge, let it defrost, and enjoy it. It is delicious in tacos, it's delicious with scrambled eggs, it's just delicious. So let's get to it. This recipe was inspired by Gabriela Camara, the chef owner of Contramar in Mexico City. And can I tell you, my dream is to go and visit her and spend the whole day tasting all of the dishes. I've adapted it. There are some ingredients that I don't have. There are some ingredients that I prefer to do without. But this is my version of her recipe. And here are the ingredients. So the ingredients we're going to use today are guajillo peppers and chile ancho, and they both have a very sweet flavor. They have heat, but they're not like the hottest. There are some jalapenos that can be hotter than some of these chilies, well, these two chilies. And they have like a chocolatey, cocoa powdery kind of note in the flavors, which gives complexity to this chorizo. And I also have a couple of morita or chipotle chilies, and these have a bit of a, the flavor of Tabasco sauce. So the combination of these chilies, I think, make for a very complex and interesting flavor and spice note in the making of this chorizo. Along with this, we're going to do some fresh thyme. I'm also using allspice. Now, allspice is not mixed spice. It's not a combination of spice. It's not pumpkin spice, but it has a flavor of sort of a combination of cloves, cinnamon, and nutmeg. In some recipes, people use cinnamon, or some recipes use cloves. I rather use allspice, and actually for me, the combination of the chilies and the allspice have hints of jerk seasoning, or the jerk marinade that I make. We have garlic, we have oregano, we have bay leaves, and we also have black peppercorns. Along with this, we're going to be using some white vinegar, and it is the combination of all of these spices that will create sort of like a pickling liquid in which we're going to marinate our pork. So the first step in this recipe is we're going to toast our chilies. I am lucky enough to have a flat plate on my cooker, but if you don't, you can use dry frying pan. We're going to toast them on both sides using tongs, being very careful. And what we're looking for is for them to start smoking. It's just a couple of minutes. You don't want to overdo it. Otherwise, your chilies are gonna get really bitter. After you do that, we're going to put them in a pot with water. We're going to bring them to the simmer, turn it off, cover the pot, and let them rest for 20 minutes. Let's go and get started. All right, guys, so chilies are done. I have taken them out of the water where they had been steeping and softening. I'm going to put my gloves back on. I know you've noticed I've been using gloves because I don't want that chili heat in my hands. Allergies are going crazy. If I scratch my eyes, oh my goodness, it's going to hurt. So I am going to start. The only thing I'm going to do with these chilies is I'm going to remove the stem, and then I'm going to put them in my food processor, where I'm going to then add the rest of the ingredients and make my paste so that I can season and pickle my pork. So in our food processor, we're going to add our vinegar. It's white vinegar that I'm going to use for this, along with the garlic, the thyme, and I like to take sort of the softer parts of the thyme sprig, otherwise you get the pieces of sort of wood with the hard stem. That's because I grow my thyme. In the supermarket, the thyme I get is really soft all the way through. I'm going to also add my bay leaves, my peppercorns, my ground allspice. If you don't have a ground, then you can use the kernels of it, and oregano. And I'm lucky enough to have some Mexican oregano. So it's all going in. And we are just going to turn this on and process it. Now that I have a gorgeous paste with my chilies and all the other ingredients. The last ingredient that I'm going to add is salt. And then I'm going to mix it again, and we're gonna mix it in with the meat. Now that that's done, I'm gonna get my meat, we're gonna put it all in a bowl and mix it together. I just went to my butcher and gotten a kilogram of pork. I think it's a good idea to go to a butcher rather than go to the supermarket, because then with your butcher, you can determine the amount of fat in it. You don't want anything that's gonna be too lean. You need the fat because chili is soluble with fat, so it'll help adhere the flavor. Plus the fat will, once you cook it, the fat will just sort of disappear. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add, whoa, it smells sweet, but you can really tell that there's quite a bit of chili in it. And then I'm just going to pour this marinade all over my pork. I'm gonna do most of it. I'm gonna leave a tiny bit behind, and I'm gonna make sure that everything is really well mixed. I'm gonna tilt my bowl so that you can see it. I have prepared a baking tray, and I've put on some greaseproof paper, and that's where I'm going to lay my mixture. So let's get ready to rumble, and I'll see you tomorrow. Day one of our chorizo. I have covered it with some greaseproof paper. And then I'm just gonna keep on making like the holes I made yesterday. I'm gonna cover it again. And we'll come and check on it tomorrow. Day two, and I'm checking my chorizo. It has a garlicky, sour smell that comes from the vinegar. The color is incredible. And it is getting, the consistency is getting firmer. So I'm going to keep on poking my holes just to get aeration in different places. And we'll come back and check tomorrow. Finally, day three, my chorizo is ready. The meat is pickled to perfection. It smells of vinegar and garlic and allspice and all of those spices that have been pickling the meat for the last 3 days. I'm going to fry some in a dry pan. I don't need any oil because the pork already has enough fat content. I have my pan on a medium heat, and it's been going for about a minute and a half, so it's hot enough. I'm going to now add my chorizo. It's finally time to try my chorizo after 3 days. With it, I have chopped tomatoes, queso fresco. If you don't have queso fresco, just use a hard mozzarella and grate it, or crumble some feta cheese. White onions, lettuce, some refried beans, delicious. And we can use flour tortillas, tortilla chips, corn tortillas. It could be the filling for tacos or anything you like. I'm going to just take a tortilla chip and try it. I'm gonna sprinkle some tomatoes for a bit of freshness. It is almost a religious experience. It's salty, It's meaty. I thought it was gonna be really sour and vinegary, but it isn't. The vinegary notes have died down and mellowed out. The chili gives it enough warmth, but it's not burning your mouth, and it goes like from the middle of your tongue, goes down really nicely. Definitely a winner. If you like this recipe, don't forget to subscribe, like, share. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Little Cravings Catering. See you next time.